Welcome, everyone, to Talkin' Rock Radio. Our guest today is an internationally renowned Americana vocalist, musician, Grammy-nominated songwriter, and author. She's joined by her husband and music partner, Tommy Parham. Welcome, Tia McGraff.
Hello, Rick. Happy to see you.
Good to see you. Good to be seen. This has been a long time. We have really missed you guys. Sharon said to say hello, by the way.
Hello, beautiful Sharon.
Yeah. So we so have missed you guys. This last year and 3 months or whatever it's been has been very very difficult and very life-changing for all of us, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I just posted today on Facebook, my word for 2021 is pivot. It feels like all we're doing is pivoting.
Yeah.
In golf, it's divot. In life now, it's pivot.
Yeah, it's just like
exactly.
trying to reinvent the new norm every day. You know?
Yeah.
Well, I know it's created some new opportunities for a lot of us. I mean, I know our Lions Club does our virtual meetings, and you guys are doing your virtual concerts. And I'm doing, this podcast thing. And of course, you guys have been doing your cool podcast, which we'll talk about towards the end. But, it's created opportunity for us that we never even thought of, a year and 3 months ago that we were going to be faced with this. But I guess it's not all bad. It's kind of a good thing, don't you think?
No, my grandmother always used to say, there's nothing so bad that God can't make some good out of it. And she was my little rock. And so Tommy and I try to draw onto that inspiration. And we did that early on in the pandemic. We just sat down and said, okay, we've been touring for so long. And we kind of were getting to the place where, gee, should we take a little bit of time off? But then will people forget about us and think we quit? So this gave us an opportunity to sit down and decide how we were going to get through this next phase. And that's when we decided, well, let's start our podcast show. We've always wanted to do one. We had tons of stories, tons of songs to share. And Tommy just loves the technological end of things. So of course, I love to talk, so so it just kind of fit, didn't it?
Sounds like Talkin' Rock to me,
Yeah, Talkin' Rock Radio.
We have, I met you guys. Gosh, do you know it's been almost 10 years when I brought you guys to El Paso when you played the El Paso Scottish Rite Theater.
Yes.
And that was a cool concert. And
we had been living in Nashville. We started coming to El Paso while we were living in Nashville, and then we relocated up here to Canada because we were on the road so much that I was kind of missing my family, and of course things at that point were starting to get digital where we could send files and songs and still go back and forth to Nashville and everything. But so it's a changed world, isn't it? Certainly.
Now, are you recording in your home studio, or do you have a studio up there you like to use?
Right now, we're doing a lot of things in our home studio, like we did with Stubborn in our blood, Stubborn in My Blood record. A lot of that was recorded here. There was a few things we did outside, but most of it was done here in the studio. Trying to get a more, what do you call it? Raw, organic.
Yeah.
Not overthought, not overproduced thought process going on, trying to get because the way she sings, I think it's cool just to get the songs that support her voice and not to try to overthink it. So we were thinking maybe the next, like this next record we're working on right now, it's trying to keep it more about what's coming out in her voice and then put the instrumentation around it.
And we're having fun. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, on that note, why don't we hear her voice?
As they say.
Well, we're going to start with a song. Speaking of all of us pivoting and, dealing with smoke flying at us, we thought we would start with this one, dedicate it to all the musicians out there, everyone really who's dealing with moving stuff away, moving the smoke away. Yeah. We wrote this with the wonderful Kevin Fisher in LA, and it was on our Crazy Beautiful CD.
Yep.
Just see it coming, there's trouble ahead. No use in running or trying to pretend. Sometimes there's fire to face at the end of the day. Try to contain it, but it's out of your hands. You're caught in the thick of your best laid plans. All you can do is keep moving the smoke away. You gotta keep believing that you can keep on breathing when all you're seeing are ashes and flames. Keep moving the smoke away. Well, I've been on fire, hot glowing red, with a burning desire in my heart and my head. Take nothing for granted, love like we're all out of days. Regret is a fool's game. I ain't no fool, been learning and living by one simple rule. Light the world up and keep moving the smoke away. You gotta keep believing that you can keep on breathing when all you're seeing are ashes and flames. Keep moving the smoke away. Sometimes you're stuck between matches and gasoline. Not a damn thing you can do, but keep believing that you can keep on breathing when all you're seeing are ashes and flames. Keep moving the smoke away until the winds change. Keep moving the smoke away. Moving the smoke away.
Nice, nice. I love that song.
Thank you, Rick.
What was the inspiration of that one?
We had flown into LA to work with Kevin Fisher. It had been arranged through a mutual friend of ours and a song plugger, Steve McClintock. And when we landed, we unfortunately got the news that Tommy's mom had passed away back in Colorado from cancer. And we knew that the day was coming. And so we kind of took that idea to Kevin, like, we're dealing with all this stuff and it's like smoke is flying at us. And also something funny happened that morning.
The morning of the writing session.
Yeah.
Steve McClintock, Steve and I were talking guitar shop. We were talking about guitars because we're both guitar lovers, and he's got a vintage set of nice pieces of art that he plays a lot. And we were talking, and he was making waffles for his daughter because she was getting ready to go to school. And we got to talking and forgot about the waffles, and the smoke detector goes off and it's going beep, beep, beep throughout the house. She's still sleeping in the bedroom and she's going, "What's going on down there?" And Steve yells down the hallway, "Don't worry, Tia. It's just a little smoke. We're moving the smoke away, but Tommy and I are just burning some waffles, but we're moving the smoke away." And she said she wrote it down in her book that day, and we took that to our writing session with Kevin, and we kind of talked about it and came up with the adversity of what you have to deal with,
Life. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. You all don't know this, but in this last year, Stephen and I have become friends.
Nice.
He's a Texan boy, isn't he?
He's a neat guy. Well, he's getting ready to move, and the next year he's going to be going over towards Kerrville.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, he's back in San Diego, but he's but he's I think it's San Diego. Is that where he's at?
Long Beach.
He's
Long
Long Beach,
Beach,
California
Long
right
Beach,
now,
yeah.
and he's got a place in Arizona. He's got a little trailer in Palm Springs.
And I
Right.
think a place up in New Brunswick, up here in Canada. He likes to come up
Yes.
to do some writing and stuff up here too.
Guy gets around.
His
Yeah.
sister is going to be retiring in the next year or so, and I guess they've bought a place down towards Kerrville or
Beautiful.
Fredericksburg, somewhere down there. And anyway, I had been talking to him about doing a show with me, and he's got a real good friend here in El Paso by the name of Dennis Rochford, who was with a band called Springfire, and they go way, way, way back. I mean, they were performing 45 plus years ago in El Paso, but they're really a neat group. But anyway, it was through Dennis that I learned about Stephen, and then we have been on the phone numerous times. And there's a song that he's doing. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but I said I want that one to be on one of our, on one of our shows that we do
Great.
together.
Yeah.
And I said, and he said, well, let me try to get my ex to sing the part on that. And I said, well, how about that gal that had the blue hair? Of course, that's his daughter.
That's his daughter,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Who has an amazing voice too.
She's amazing.
Fantastic.
Does.
Yeah.
Well, I saw them singing together at one of the Songwriter sessions that they were doing, the videos, and that's where I had learned about her. But
Yeah.
but he says no, but my ex can sing it even great, great also. So I
Yeah.
said, you make the
Yeah.
call, man. Whatever you can
Yeah.
make happen. So
Yeah.
It's funny. It's neat how everyone ties in together, isn't it? And how
it really is. Well,
become one big family.
what I've been doing lately through my networking and everything is dealing with a lot of session players in Nashville and of course LA, and I'm going to be interviewing on Monday Bobby Rydell. I don't know if that name
Yeah,
means anything to
Very
you,
cool.
but he goes back to the 50s and has he's sold over 25 million records. He's got some big songs that he recorded back when, but
Oh,
it's going
yeah.
to be kind of fun bringing back some old memories with him because he and Frankie Avalon and Fabian are still doing it. So
Yeah.
so,
Yeah. Fantastic.
back to this whole thing with doing the podcast, it's creating new opportunities for all of us, so
Yeah.
anyway, one of my next favorite songs is Two Wolves, and of course that was a special request that I had. So you want to give us the backstory on that, or do you want to just sing it first and then do the backstory?
This is Tommy is Native American and Spanish, and
See,
this this idea came to us. There's a Cherokee legend, which we have found that most of the nations have the same version of it, but it's called Two Wolves. And we were walking with our pastor who married us in Savannah, Georgia. And he was telling us he was going to do a sermon on the legend of two wolves that weekend. And when he told us the story, Tommy and I just loved it. And Tommy, being Native American, wanted to bite into this one and say, let's write it, but we need to take our time and really make sure that we hold on to the integrity of the legend. So it's like a 6-line story, and we had to somehow put it into a song form. And we waited a while. We waited until it found us. And we were sitting in our sun porch. We're up on the North Shore of Lake Erie. And we were sitting in our sun porch one morning having coffee. And I think Tommy just started playing this melody and this cool little riff. And we wrote it. And when we put it on the album, we wanted to add some native instrumentation to it. So we live near Six Nations Native Reserve, First Nations Native Reserve here in Ontario. And so we called Tawana Howie and Sakieta, and they came in, and she played, she did vocables, which we're going to have you sing along with us at the end. And she did some chants, and Sakieta played Mohawk flute on it. And so when you listen to the recorded version, it's like 5.5 minutes or something.
we took the Robbie Robertson approach on that one. Yeah. We wanted to make it long and make it very spatial and airy. And
Yeah.
There you go.
Grandfather chief of the proud Cherokee, You are much older and wiser than me. There are some things that I don't understand as I'm growing in years, becoming a man. Walking into this journey of life, how will I know what is wrong, what is right? There is the war raging inside of me. Tell me, oh grandfather, what can it be? Grandson, I'll tell you the tale of two wolves. There's two wolves living inside every man. One lives in harmony with all around. The other's full of anger and wears you down. I too have struggled, I feel them inside. There's good and there's evil, they constantly fight. Envy and sorrow, false pride and hate, challenging kindness, love, hope, and faith. Sometimes it's hard to live with these two wolves, both of them trying to dominate my spirit. But grandson, I see it there in your eyes. Your search is good, humble and wise. Grandfather, I hear the words that you say, but there is a question that still remains. Are these two wolves wrestling within? How do I know which one will win? How will I know which wolf will win? Grandson, I'll tell you the tale of two wolves. There's two wolves living inside every man. One is compassion, the other is greed. The one that will win is the one that you feed. You ask which wolf will win, it's the one that you feed.
Such a great message. I really love that song.
We were playing that we were in Floribama, and we got to do the church service on Sunday morning, and there's, I don't know, close to 1,000 people sitting in this, underneath this big gigantic tent on the ocean, and they have the whole morning's about praise and worship songs or positive inspirational songs, and we played that song as one of our songs. And the guy down at the far end, he's now became a really good friend of ours, Matt Prater. he goes, boys, girls, I just have to say that's the best damn song I've ever heard. And it was just so funny because everybody just cracked up and just said, yeah, they started clapping. And he goes, no, really, seriously, what a message. So we just love that. So it's awesome. It's one of our favorite moments in Floribama.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. He's such a great songwriter. We've been trying to do a couple of shows with him. We had a couple of things set up with him, but then COVID hit and screwed everything up. But we're going to set it up someday soon.
Well, good.
Next year, 2022.
Well, that'll be great if you do. That'll be fun. Well, Pilot of Change. Let's talk about that song.
Yeah, one of the things that we love to do is pay it forward and teach songwriting workshops. And one of the things that we said we wanted to do when we lived in Nashville was bring that home when we came here and teach to songwriters in this area. I grew up in Canada, and so it's a very vast nation. And one of the things you had to do if you want to be a songwriter was pretty much learn how to write lyrics and melody, right? And then when I moved to Nashville, of course, it was like they ask you, do you write melody or lyrics? And so that's how I met Tommy, was because he's more of a melody person. And I said,
I'm a groove guy.
He's a groove guy.
I got the grooves.
So when we moved up here, we hooked in with the Norfolk Arts Center. And so we lined up a songwriting workshop that ran a series of workshops that ran over the summer. And it just happened to be that there was artist in residence, Shelley Nero, who is First Nations artist. And she had these beautiful, beautiful paintings and photographs of First Nations and strawberry plants and tobacco plants and everything else. And one of them was a painting of her niece, Raven, sitting on a stool in the middle of a cornfield at night, looking up in aviator goggles, and she's looking up at the stars that are all falling around her and everything.
Really beautiful painting.
And it's absolutely stunning. And so we had our students pick out a piece of art, and they all collectively picked out this one. And so we said, okay, let's title this. What are we going to title this? And someone said, well, let's call it Pilot of Change, because she's sitting there with her aviator goggles and she's looking at the stars. And so we said, okay. And so we worked through that workshop with them and had them pick the idea and then go home and write their own song and bring it back. And so we took it and did our own version of it, of Pilot of Change. And this is what we came up with. And I just loved it so much that we put it on our album, Stubborn in My Blood. It's one of my favorites. And we've played it all over the world now, haven't we?
Pretty much, and the reception has been really, really, really great too, because they love one of the nice lines in the chorus is, but the way she came across that imagery was like poetry. It's just because it does make you think about things, and the song's really great about the nostalgic part of figuring out where you're headed and where you're going.
Which is what we're all in, kind of, aren't we?
We're kind of in that place right now. We have no idea where we're going.
And anyone who's grown up in the country, we can attest, you can hear corn growing. Have you ever heard that, Rick? Have you ever heard?
Well, my wife's relatives are from Iowa, and they know all about corn, so maybe I don't know.
You ask her, I swear, because
if you stand there in the quiet, you can
at nighttime you can hear. When I was in high school, we used to go out for some parties, and we'd end up in a cornfield, and we'd be
drinking some corn mash. Were you?
Yeah.
Corn whiskey.
There you go.
So it's called Pilot of Change. I was on a broken road, busted, feeling sorry for myself, trusted no one or anything at all. When I saw her sitting in a cornfield with her back against the world and eyes peeled on the stars, watching them fall, I said, excuse me, but what are you doing? It's after midnight and this seems kind of strange. She said, I'm listening to the sound of corn growing. It does me good. It's quiet in this place. And sometimes you just need some space to sit by yourself and rearrange every constellation, every sign, until you find a way of flying away. Be a pilot of change, a pilot of change. I said, but I don't know where to get started. So beaten up and broken hearted, do the stars know where I've been? That I had my chance and I missed it. Now it's too late to try and fix it. Can they show me a new road again? She said, excuse me, but why crowd your thinking? You sure got a whole lot to say. Try listening to the sound of corn growing, and your heart has got the answers anyway. And sometimes you just need some space to sit by yourself and rearrange every constellation, every sign, until you find a way of turning the page. Be a pilot of change. Oh, yeah. Sometimes you just need some space to sit by yourself and rearrange. Sometimes you just need some space to sit by yourself and rearrange every constellation, every sign, until you find a way of turning the page. Be a pilot of change, a pilot of change. Oh, yeah. A pilot of change.
I wished I'd put my headphones on earlier. It sounds so much better than these stupid AirPods, you know.
Yeah, it probably got much fuller sound now.
Oh yeah, I can really hear the bass and everything now. It sounds great. But
Good, good.
wow, I love
We're
that.
live, folks. We're live.
We'll be.
Yeah, right on. When you guys get going again, doing some live shows and things, you got some good things lined up for the States? Or are you going to be up in Canada most of the time at first, or what are you going to be doing?
We're looking at coming down in 2022. We've already had, we have a festival in Colorado that they've just been gracious enough to keep moving the date. We were supposed to be there in 2020, and then 20, and so we've already got that on the calendar for 2022. We can't wait to come back to Texas. Of course, we love playing in El Paso.
Gotta have El Paso on the radar.
Yeah, and Albuquerque, we've already been talking to some folks there. And of course, going back down to Nashville. And as Tommy mentioned, we like to go to the Frank Brown Songwriters Festival. So God willing, they'll take us back, and yeah, we're gonna also, we tour the UK a lot. We've spent a lot of time in the UK, and so they've been wanting us to come back, and we're saying the same thing. 2022 right now, we're going to focus on getting the new album done, growing our podcast show at Jake's Place, Songs and Tales, and I've been writing some children's books, so I'm working on my next one, and we're just kind of being creative right now, sitting in our space, like the song says, moving constellations, moving stars.
When you when you go to the UK, do you go to the right a little bit and get over to Ireland and have a little bit of fun there, or are you?
The one place we haven't played is Ireland, right, Tommy?
That's
Oh,
right. We've been invited a couple
Yeah.
times, and we had a couple opportunities and had some bizarre freak of circumstances that kept us from doing it. But one of our venue people that has always booked us every year for the past 14 years is a place up in Kilkane, and in Hale, and he has now since moved from there to Cork in Ireland, and he's been trying to upstart his big acoustic dinner thing that he does all the time there, and he definitely has us on his radar whenever we get back over there. So I think it's going to be on the plans. Since once we get a foothold on one spot in Ireland, we can start jumping all over the place to the other spots.
oh, they'll love you there. Sharon's got relatives from County Cork, so
Oh, yeah?
Wonderful.
and we've got a standing invitation. There's a hello, Sean. He'll be watching this show, I'm sure. Sean McGinney is his name. He's a bass player with a band called The Urge, and they are
Cool name.
they're a neat band. Primarily a cover band. They become the UK and Ireland #1 wedding band. I mean, before this COVID thing, they were playing like 5 or 6 nights a week all over the country, just in demand. And
Yeah.
they're so good. I mean, they can do Johnny Cash and turn right around and do Toto. I mean, they're just
Yeah.
they're
Fantastic.
so good. And I'll be doing an episode with Sean down the road. We're going to be talking. I met him through Tammy Wynette's fiddle player, Bobby Napier, who was an El Pasoan. And when he left El Paso and went to Nashville and stuff, he ended up playing with Tammy, and Tammy was doing a show at the Cork Opera House, and the Urge was the warm-up band for that. And so that's how Sean got to know Bobby. And then Bobby reached out to me and said, "You got to meet this guy named Sean McGinney. He's really a cool dude." So Sharon and I, every St. Patrick's Day, we usually get a phone call from the Emerald Isle from a real
Aw.
Irishman.
That's lovely. That's lovely.
Well,
yeah.
hopefully when we get over there, you can time it out and be over there at the same time. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Oh, wouldn't that be
Yeah.
neat? That would
Yeah,
be
it'd
great.
be really cool. Yeah.
And if-
I've got Scottish roots. My mom's family were McDonald's, and they all came from a little town called Nairn, Scotland.
Yeah.
And so we love touring Scotland as well. Well, we're over there. And Wales. We love
Yeah.
Wales. We love the Welsh.
Let me
Yeah.
ask you, how hard is it driving on the left side? I mean, to me, that would just freak me out. How do you
Tom
do that?
drives.
First-
He's amazing.
Yeah, and our first trip over there, it was easier than I thought to get a hold of. But the problem I was having in philosophy wise, was the roundabouts, and
Oh yeah.
and the smaller ones are easy to negotiate. They're really not that hard. It's the ones that are 5 lanes wide that has transport trucks and stuff, and they're almost a mile in diameter. It's
Oh.
amazing how intricate scientifically those things are designed. And once I figured out the rules of where I needed to be, of where direction I was headed, then those roundabouts were easy to negotiate. And for me, I thought the big accomplishment was when we finally got to drive downtown London, and I survived, not getting killed, and we didn't hit anybody.
You should have had a T-shirt made up. I survived the roundabout and driving downtown London.
Yeah. I survived Tommy driving the roundabout.
That's right.
Well, I
It's
think
fun.
that
It's actually a lot of fun.
the hardest problem I think I would have with all of that is, number one, I'm probably not going to be that familiar with where I'm driving, so that's working against you,
Yeah.
and then trying to think in reverse to roundabouts in the U.S.
Yeah.
and Canada versus over there, which is going to be the reverse of that. So you've got to think everything opposite of what you're doing, and I
Right.
have a hard enough time in my own roundabouts.
Yeah.
So,
They're tricky, and what's fun is that with a GPS, the ultimate marriage counselor on the road. The GPS saved us a lot of times on getting us from where we need to be, and what the hard part I think at the very beginning for us was that a lot of those addresses will be on the sidewalk or on the curb. They're not on the building or on a station somewhere where you can find them. So that was a little tricky, because I remember our very first trip, Tia had a mound of paperwork of all the directions of where we
It
needed
was
to go.
pre-GPS.
Wow.
Pre-GPS, and she had just
Yeah.
all the places we needed to go, where to turn,
Oh,
what
yeah.
highways we needed to take, and we always had a map with us, and she was navigating the whole time. And
Yeah.
I tell you what, we were discussing this the other night. We had some amazing adventures over there.
The funniest thing was one night we were playing in Scotland,
The
and
Red Shoes Theater.
and I kept saying to Tommy, use your signal light in the roundabouts to let people, because our friend who taught Tommy how to drive over there said, no, Tommy, make sure you use your indicator light, right? So Tommy kept forgetting to use a signal light. So anyway,
I was concentrating on getting through it without getting hit.
so we're flying back after this this gig, and we're going back to our B&B, and we're both hungry. It was like about 10 o'clock at night, and I said, oh, look, Tommy, there's a Tesco, and that's their big like Walmart over there. So Tommy immediately goes to change lanes, and all of a sudden you finish the story.
The way to get to this particular Walmart version of in Tesco, they had like 2 or 3 roundabouts that kind of went to different parts of it looked like a big, what do you call it, strip mall.
Uh-huh.
But the where I needed to get to was, I was almost trying to cheat it, and I was trying to cut directly a straight path instead of trying to go around all these roundabouts. And eventually, after a couple of attempts of trying to get around a couple of roundabouts, or failing to, we noticed that there was some police lights behind us. And I said, oh crap, I'm getting pulled over in Scotland. Great.
Oh,
this
yeah.
is gonna be really nice. And so he comes over in his nice yellow and blue, his Mac and stuff, and it's kind of chilly that night. And he says, "You're in a hurry, are you?" And I said, "We're just trying to get over there to the Tesco." And he goes, "Oh, you're not from around here. Great. Well, we just noticed that you were going through all those roundabouts without using the indicator lights." And I said, "My what?" I wasn't using what? Indicator lights. And Tia says, "Your turn signals."
I said, I told him he needs to use his signal lights.
And then he bends down the window and looks at her, looks at me, and goes, "Just be a warning. Just watch what you're doing. You know, be on your way."
So the bossy wife got you out of that
he's
jam.
kind of looking at me and kind of gave me that look like, you know,
He's already in trouble enough.
he's already in trouble enough. So send him
You
on
do
his
a
way.
good accent, Tommy. I think you'll fit in nice in Ireland. I think you'll do a good job with it.
Well, my next one is going to try and do Ireland, because
Yeah.
we spent so much time in Scotland.
Yeah.
I had a blast talking with those guys.
Yeah.
A blast, an absolute blast. And we found out there's different dialects of English from different parts of the country. Wherever we were, it changed.
Yeah.
And we learned those parts too. But Ireland, yes, that's my next big bucket list. I want to start learning how to do Ireland.
Ireland.
There's a movie you all need to check out. It's called Leap Year. If you've never seen it, it's a really cool love story. Check it out. It takes place in Ireland, and you'll
Leap
be
year.
able to relate to everything going on there with the driving of the car and all of that stuff.
Okay, cool.
It's priceless. But it's one of Sharon's favorite shows, and we look at it every year. You'll like it. It's a good one.
Cool.
In fact, I even told Sean about it. I says there's a film that you need to check out, and it takes place in your hood, man. You need to check it out. So he said he was going to do that. You know what? I hear a train in the background. I don't know if you guys hear that
No,
train.
we don't hear it at all. No. Good.
Turn
You're
up
as,
your
Cute, Tommy, cute. Segway.
Segway. We're doing-
Conductor for a day. We wrote this for my dad. Father's Day is coming up. We wrote this for my dad for Father's Day, so we'll send this out to all the men out there celebrating Father's Day. And it's based on a true story. My dad is Transylvanian immigrant family who moved to Canada, and he grew up one of 9 children, and they didn't have a lot, but he had a bike. And he used to like riding his bike down to the rail yard and watching them riding the train around, and he dreamed of being able to drive the engine around. And one day he had the opportunity. And so he's told us this story time and time again, including the name of the train, which was old number 919. And so one year, Tommy and I surprised him when we put it into song form for it. It's called Conductor for a Day. Still love the sound of steel humming on a track, and the smell of coal burning through the stack was 60 years ago. But it feels like yesterday. Then my old man said it was quite a scene. Just a young boy driving old number 919, conductor for a day. I blew the whistle and waved. Oh, what I wouldn't give, what I wouldn't pay. And my buddy Skip was only 17. Night watchman burning fire for the morning steam. I'd ride my bike across town to watch them shuttle cars around. Dreamed of driving that yard train, conductor for a day. Well, a boy's dreams are often left behind, but there's always one you carry all your life. One morning Skip said, "Johnny, jump on board." The New York Central stopped on 24. Gotta see what slowed her down. Can you drive this engine round? Well, I pushed the throttle and let that whistle blow. And if that track had run clear to Mexico, I'd have driven 919 across the Kansas plain. Yeah, it was 60 years ago, but it feels like yesterday. Well, a boy's dreams are often left behind, but there's always one you carry all your life. He said that CN Rail has long been retired. Bet if we tried that today, Skip would be fired. These kids don't have it good. So many things are gone. Oh, what I wouldn't give, what I wouldn't pay to lean my arm out of that train once again. Conductor for a day.
Yay.
Wow. Were you saying? Can you see Dottie Lynn, our cat, in here?
She was
No, where they at?
she was
She's
right here by my arm. She was pulling on my arm. She was pulling while I was playing.
Was she
normally we have
pulling?
the dogs.
Was she pulling on a wire earlier or something when you first started the song? Because I was hearing a little bit of static.
Yeah, she was doing something.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
A cool story too. My dad ended
I
up
love it.
he ended up going down that train ride that he took was when he was 18. He and some buddies went down to Mexico, and he said on the way back they stopped just outside of Laredo, Texas. And he said the engineer said, "Everyone get off. There's a chicken shack there if you guys want some chicken." And he said, I got off that train. It was the best damn chicken I'd ever eaten. so
Is your
so
daddy still alive to you?
yes, he is. He's 82,
Fantastic.
and he's as fit as a fiddle. He still golfs, and he's a sharp man. Really, really sharp.
It's a
Yeah.
great song.
Yeah.
It's
Thank
like
you.
watching you and hearing you sing it. It's like you're singing it for the first time.
Mm,
Oh, thank you for that.
I
That's
can
great.
I can really see your emotion and really
That's
nice.
awesome. Yeah, it's a special song for us, and we get that requested no matter where we go. That's one of the big
yeah.
requests.
Yeah, I see why. Break these chains.
Aw.
Yeah.
Well, this we our new album that we are working on now is going to be titled working title is called With Love, and we're looking at all aspects of love to put on the album. There's going to be a Christian song on it. There's going to be love, universal love. Um, we've got a song on it called Masterpiece, which Tommy and I wrote kind of about us just sitting here one day going, we don't have much. We're road musicians,
Yeah.
but we've got a cool red velvet chair that we found on the side of the road that would look great with your curtains, Rick. It was
Yeah.
I'll buy it
and
from you.
yeah, that's a whole other story and a whole other song. But Break These Chains was a song. Actually, we had a title called Break These Chains, a CD. And this song we like to end our shows with it. We still get a ton of requests for this. And we've been asking our fans, which of the songs of ours are your favorites that you would like to see brought out, dusted off, and put on this new album? And, if we reintroduce a couple of them, and this is one of them, and so we're saying, well, love. And this is about break these chains. Love is all that matters. It's the only thing we need.
Yeah.
Right. And I think in this day and age, we got to remember that this is a global pandemic. It's around the world. It's brothers and sisters and around the world that are dealing with this. And I think if we all keep that in mind, that love will conquer this, and we just let that get us through, I think we'll be great on the other side of all this. So we just want to send our love to all of you, and with this song called Break These Chains. Gonna break these chains, gonna let them fall till nothing remains but love, that's all. I've been dragging some demons round, working hard in my sleep, living with fear that brings me down like chains around my feet. But I believe, yes, I believe I'm gonna break these chains, gonna let them fall till nothing remains but love, that's all. Everybody's got a box of rocks, heavy with regret. Angry words and jealousy might hold me back, and yet I believe, yes, I believe I'm gonna break these chains, gonna let them fall till nothing remains but love, that's all. It's the only thing that matters. Everybody's got a key. Let it open up your heart and be free.
Gonna break these chains, gonna let them fall till nothing remains. Love, that's all. I'm gonna break these
I want to be an
chains
instrument of peace.
Let 'em
When there's
fall
hatred, let me sow love,
till nothing
despair,
remains.
hope,
Love, that's
darkness, light.
all. Gonna break these
That I may
chains.
not so much seek to be consoled as to console,
Till nothing
be understood
remains.
as to understand,
Love, that's all. I'm gonna break these
to be
chains.
loved
Let
as
'em
to love,
fall till
as
nothing
to love.
Love, that's all.
Gonna break these chains,
Break these chains. Let 'em fall.
gonna let them fall.
Break these chains. Let 'em fall.
I'm gonna break these
Break
chains,
these chains. Let 'em fall.
just watch them fall.
Chains.
Sing it out with us at home. Here we go. Break these chains, let them fall. Break these chains, let them fall. Break these chains, let them fall. Gonna let them fall.
Break these chains. Let 'em fall.
Just watch them fall.
Break these chains.
Woo.
Let 'em fall.
Come on now. Break these chains. Let them fall. One more time. Break these chains. Let them fall.
Nice. Thank you, thank you. That's awesome.
I had to do that. Sorry.
That's great.
That's great. Thank you,
Oh,
Rick. Thank you so much. This is just for the beautiful blessing and honor of being here on your show. And congratulations on your show and everyone who's watching and listening
Yeah,
around
podcasts
the
are
world.
fun.
Yeah.
yeah, they are fun and just still learning it and everything, but it's coming along. I so much appreciate you guys doing this show with us today, this little mini concert. It was really great, and it's so neat to see you all and
Oh.
be a part of this with you today.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us. We really appreciate it.
And let's stay in touch. Let us know what's going on when you start coming down this way, and we'll definitely hook up. We definitely want to see you guys.
Absolutely. And when we get the new album done, we'll send over some tracks, and if
Good.
you want to have us back on maybe in the fall or something, we would love that if you have space for us.
Oh, you
Yep.
better believe it. And I'll have this out next Tuesday on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, and on Facebook and everything. So
Great.
everybody will be able to watch it. But thank you guys so much. We love you.
We love you and Sharon.
and thank you, and keep doing what you're doing. It's great.
Thank
It's
you,
really, really
sir.
good.
Thank
Thank you
sir.
very much. We really, really, really appreciate you guys having us.
Thank you. And hold on to the recording on your end. I'm not sure if I've got it. I think I do. So we'll check it out, and we'll go from there. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you guys. And we'll talk to you soon. All right.
Yeah. Thanks,
Take-
Rick. God
take
bless.
care. Bye-bye
God bless,
now.
hon.